hope everyone is doing really well, and thank you so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. Last week I put out a video discussing Raw Till 4, and in it I mentioned that I did do Raw Till 4, or I was on the Raw Till 4 diet in the past, and this week that is what I'm going to be talking about. So I actually have to back up several years to when I first discovered Freely, which was through my roommate, and it was actually Raw Christina that my roommate introduced me to, and I started watching her videos, which then of course led me to Freely. Now, my roommate didn't show these videos to me as here's a healthy way of eating. No, she showed them to me as like a joke, like they are a joke, and I started watching them and I thought they were ridiculous. I thought they were crazy. I thought they were like, I thought Freely was like the stupidest person like that for doing what she was doing. And then gradually over time I stopped watching their videos. I think I watched their video, Freely and Raw Christine, on those types of videos and those types of YouTubers. I watched their stuff for probably 2 weeks, and then I was like, well, they're boring, and I moved on to something new. It wasn't until last year that I actually started watching their videos and really then putting in my own research and finding that maybe Freely, there was something to what Freely was preaching. So I saw Raw Till 4 and high carb, low fat as I don't want to say savior, but I saw it as a way to get better, to beat my eating disorder. And I'm going to actually start by saying I'm going to start out by saying the pros to what I learned from this diet, and then I'm going to get into the cons of why I don't think this is a long-term, lifelong like diet that you should do your whole life. So 1 year ago, I was grasping at straws. I would take any information. Freely was so convincing. I mean, the way she talked, and then she looked the way that she talked. Like she did what she preached. Like, she didn't just like spew information. No, she lived it. And you could see that in how she looked. And of course, every girl really wants to look like that. And when you have a woman who looks like that, who's convincing, who's got charisma, and has all this like scientific information and facts, and she's like regurgitating that for you, of course you're going to believe it and you're going to want to do it. So she was just so convincing, and I was desperate, and I really wanted to get better. So I adopted Raw Till 4. So I had developed a really bad habit of basically starving myself, resisting food all day, and then eating everything at night. And Raw Till 4 taught me how to eat during the day. And it taught me that I'm capable of eating more than I thought I can. That's something that a lot of people who have eating disorders, who are tiny, who eat very small amounts, they don't realize that their body is actually capable of consuming more. And they're scared to, which I fell into that category. I still kind of fall into that category. But Raw Till 4 taught me that I can eat more. Another thing why Raw Till 4 was so appealing to me is I love fruit. And for a long time, I bought into the myth that carbs make you fat, carbs are bad, and fruit is bad, and it'll make you fat. So I didn't eat fruit for a very long time. And when you don't eat fruit for a very long time, you do crave it because your body wants it. And Raw Till 4 opened my eyes and said, fruit's good, it's okay to eat it. In fact, eat as much as you want, and it's okay. And for someone who absolutely loves fruit, like myself, this was amazing, and this just made me want to break that mindset that carbs make you fat. So as you can see, there were some very positive things about Raw Till 4. It was a really good starting place in my recovery. It was a good place to start. It trained my body to be able to eat more. It made me eat a complete food group that I had rejected for several years and I was afraid of. However, Raw Till 4 also made me fear fat. And it made me a little bit orthorexic, obsessed with healthy eating, which isn't good either. Slowly, as the months progressed, it became repetitive. I'm the type of person, I need variation. I need not constant change because I don't do well with change, but I do need change. I need to mix things up. I need to experience new things. And eating fruit all day long is repetitive, like I said. It's boring. It gets boring. I mean, you can try a million different fruits, but eventually they don't taste the same, but fruit is sweet or fruit is acidic. And there's really no in between, at least with the fruits that I have available to me where I live. It's very difficult to get a variation of fruit and flavor. Like I said, very sweet, and then there's citrusy fruit, acidic fruit. So you're really not getting a lot of variety. So I never stopped learning. I was on Raw Till 4, but I knew that I wasn't going to be forever. And I think that's important for people to think about when they go on a diet like this, or any diet that probably isn't practical long term. But to remember that it isn't long term. Like, you're not going to be on this forever, and you need to learn what you're going to do and how are you going to stay healthy and fit after you go off the diet. So I came to the conclusion probably 6 or 7 months into Raw Till 4 that you should never go on a diet that isolates one macronutrient and pushes all the other ones away. Raw Till 4 focuses on carbs. It's a high carb diet, but it neglects and omits proteins and fats, which are the other macronutrients that your body needs, and it solely revolves around carbs. Now, this is good because it breaks the mindset that carbs are bad, but it creates the mindset that protein and fats aren't necessary and that they're bad, especially the fats, because you're not allowed to cook with fats on this diet. It's important to let the macronutrients work together. It's really about balance. And I know that's so cliche, but it's absolutely true. It's all about balance. I mean, one day you might eat more carbs, but you always have a little bit of that protein and fats in that day. The next day you might eat a whole lot of fat, but you balanced it. You can't completely isolate one and neglect the other. So the last thing I concluded while strictly doing Raw Till 4 was it really, at least for me, and I think there are other people who probably have experienced this too, Raw Till 4 does create binging habits. I would find myself overdoing it with the fruit. I know that you have to eat a lot of fruit to get your amount of calories, but that makes you focus on a number rather than feeling good and listening to your body's signals that you're full. So you actually sometimes, at least I did, end up eating way too much fruit and then eating way too much at dinner. And this is just creating a binge habit. Raw Till 4 really helped me battle my anorexia, but it didn't do much help for bulimia. And it was great because it taught me how to eat. It just didn't teach me how to stop. And I'm just going to end with the best thing that Raw Till 4 can teach a person is that carbs are not bad. Your body wants carbs, your body needs carbs, and it's a great source of energy. So never neglect your carbs and definitely eat your fruit. Anyway, thank you so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. If you want to leave a comment, any feedback, any criticisms, feel free to. I love hearing back from people. So I hope to see you next time. Bye.